going to start getting something through. When I see it on YouTube, then we're good. Cool. So here we are. We're doing a little bit of a live stream today. I'm over in the US, so I thought, why not make everyone come on camera and we can talk about what's coming up with Parsec. So who I have here is Jake and Dan.
Howdy.
And Jake does our UX. So we brought, you came on recently and you're giving everything a big overhaul. So you may have used our app before and it's not the prettiest. So Jake is rebuilding it from scratch to make it look absolutely beautiful and functionality. And Dan is here to build all the back-end stuff, so all the API calls and all that kind of thing. So what we're going to do first of all, because these guys got to go pretty soon, is we're just going to run through some of the changes we're doing. So before we begin, I just want you to maybe run over what changes you've been thinking about, or what you've been how you got to where we're going to look at today.
Sure. So yeah, like James said, I've been basically like rewriting and redesigning the whole app from scratch, the front end at least. Rethinking the different flows through the app, where certain things should be grouped. So, for example, for those of you that are on cloud PCs, there was that section in your account settings that had the shutdown, how long after it's inactive do you want it to be shut down. So we grouped that with the computer settings. It's kind of a small example, but it's just thinking about where's the most intuitive place for everything, and kind of trying to fit that all together, and also just making it more of a guided walkthrough, because I think one of the main complaints was that you're kind of plopped into this this white screen with not much context. So yeah, there's that. We're working hard to bring those improvements to the native app as well, because over the past few weeks, you've probably noticed the website gradually morphing to this new style. So we're going to drop that in the native app hopefully soon. Right now, we're working on overhauling the friend system and making it a little more intuitive and traditional, I guess.
Do you want to go through some of the friend system?
Yeah, sure. So I've been working to support Jake on the back end, writing all of the server-side code that's going to save all of the state and everything. So I'm involved in a couple of big projects right now, one of which is a big overhaul of our permission system. So if you've used the product for a while, you know that you can share the PCs that you own, the PCs that you're running the Parsec server on. And right now, the options for sharing that with your friends is fairly limited. Either you give them no access, or you give them limited access where they can try to connect, but you have to be logged on and you have to accept them into it, or you just give them blanket access to connect whenever they want. And so one of the big projects that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks has been to sort of overhaul that system and make it a little more fine-grained, so that you have a lot of control over who can connect to your machine, what they can do when they've connected, and everything like that. And then the other big project I'm working on, which is not directly with Jake, but it's with Chris Dixon, the CTO and co-founder, is I've been working on a signaling service to allow for more efficient and more reliable peer-to-peer connection. So if you've ever gotten a 6023 error or a 6000 level error, we are working on a big project which should make a lot of those go away. We're hoping. We're not going to make any big promises here, but so that's sort of what I'm working on.
Yeah, cool. No, wonderful. And so what we do have is a little bit of surprise. So Jake's has been working very, very hard on, as he said, there's a native app coming in. You probably know our current Windows app and our Mac OS app. They're a little bit, they're not very complex. They're just a kind of connection, a console, and some settings. But Jake's been working really hard to bring some of the stuff from the website into the current app. So if we can manage to change over what's on the screen at the moment, we might be able to do it. But we'll see. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare, I'm sure, while I change it over. Let me go up and quickly switch into this. So do you want to take us through it?
Sure. So this is it's a quick video I took of this app on my desktop. It's basically kind of the website, or the new website just like transplanted into like a native app. So we have like the login screen. This is like a low frame rate like screen capture I took, so sorry about that. You log in, and then you have like a native app. I'm developing one at Mac, so you can see like the traffic lights there. But you know, we're working on a Windows version as well. Obviously, it'll support all the platforms it does today. You can move it around, drag like the title bar. It's like the same play screen that you have now. Here's a sneak peek of like the friend stuff we're working on. Enter like a friend's email to send them a friend request, kind of similar to how it is now, but we're going to show your pending friend requests in the app. This is I basically like finished working on this today. I like paused, took this video like an hour ago. This is the account stuff we released last week. Your billing profile. This is a blank host tab. I haven't had a chance to get to that just yet. It's a native app. You can resize it, you can move it around. Sorry. And add your computer in it. It's basically, yeah, like the whole website kind of just like put into a native app. It's going to have the extra features for like hosting and like changing your computer settings. You know, the things you do on your actual computer.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, this is, you know, early preview. We haven't. It's not like ready to even like send out to test yet. It only works on like my own computer basically. But yeah, I mean, hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can get this out.
And so it seemed like when you guys started, there was a lot of like you had to build a lot of groundwork to get to where we are now. Like the iteration process, the website's changing quite frequently now, but there was a lot of work to get there. Right, you had to build everything from scratch, and then now we're at a point where we can start going a little faster, maybe.
Yeah, I think, you know, whenever you're doing a big redesign like this, you know, it touches a lot of different places in the app. You're kind of changing and a lot of different places in the backend code as well. And it takes a while to sort of figure out, you know, how you're going to do things moving forward, right? You know, like every time there's a rewrite like this or you're doing a redesign, it's an opportunity. You know, it's not like some, you know, like painful process that you have to go through. It's actually kind of fun because you get to reimagine all of the solutions that you've already kind of implemented, and you get to think about like what's the best way to do this, to solve this, and you actually take time to rewrite things. So it takes some time at the beginning to sort of reimagine how you're going to solve things. But once you kind of agree as a team how you want to do things, then you can iterate really quickly. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Oh, cool. It's gonna be. I think the app's going to make a really big usability change. It's going to really add like. I feel like it's going to really be really cohesive after that comes in. It's going to be so good. It's going to be really good. And it's going to enable like a lot of other features maybe down the road that we can use while in game, or maybe that kind of thing as well, I imagine.
Yeah, that's definitely the hope. And I know like a couple months ago I was doing a bunch of usability tests in the channel in like Discord and asking for help, and that's kind of died down now as I have like an idea of at least where to go with like, the features we have. But yeah, I definitely want to like involve everyone in, you know, making this app better. So like once we kind of replace what we have now and we're ready to start like moving forward, well, I mean, even if there's like feedback on what we have now, definitely come through with like mention it to us.
Yeah, we've got a question from Aaron W. It says, will we get this kind of stuff on the Pi 3, or is this going to be like, I guess, probably going to be Mac and Windows first, and do you think that we'll start to?
So it'll support Linux. I don't know how the Pi 3 might not have the resources needed to handle like this full redesign. But I mean, we'll know more when we get deeper into it. Right now, we've only built it for Mac and Windows. We haven't even tried building it for Linux yet. But we will have it for all.
It was kind of completed like last week. Like what we have now is literally fresh, very very fresh. So as you guys work on it, it's going to come form up really nicely.
Actually, so most of the kudos for like the groundwork in this app go to Jamie, who's
Yeah.
Chris's sister, who's she's on vacation this week, but she did a fantastic job, basically like laying the groundwork for all the native app redesign stuff. I mean, what I've been working on is like the visual stuff, so it's like, I don't know, it's the most visible, but she really was the star on that project.
Yeah. Jamie's a very, very clever girl.
Yeah.
Every time you need an answer in Discord, she's got it. She's like, exactly what you need. She's amazing. It's really good. Okay, well, thanks, guys. I feel like you got to go, but yeah, thanks for the chat. I hope you guys in Discord and on YouTube appreciated this. But these guys are working really hard to hopefully bring you some new features that you can use. And we're really looking forward to having that app come out and we all get to use it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Thanks everybody.
And I'm going to, while these guys leave, I'll introduce the star of the show, that is Benji Boxer, our CEO and founder, or co-founder with Chris. I don't know if Chris is going to be in today. You might want to jump on the other side so people can see it.
Cool.
Hey there. So you've probably noticed Benji in the support chat helping everyone get sorted. He's the man for that. He does all the big deals, all the support chat. He works night and day. It was his birthday yesterday and he was still on support. So he's doing an amazing job.
Well, I love it. I love it's my baby, so I'm gonna do everything I can to help everyone and everything like that. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, tell me, like, it was maybe like 18 months when you started. So
Yeah.
Like, so what made you kind of come to the thing that you and Chris wanted to do Parsec or do something like that? How did you get to that point?
For sure. I mean, I think so. First off, Chris and I have known each other for 11 years at this point. At the time of starting the business, it had been 10 years, but somehow we survived the 11th to the 11th. But we've known each other for 11 years. We just always thought we'd start a business together, and about probably 2 years ago, we started flirting with some ideas and thinking about game streaming and the technology that's going behind gaming and where things were shifting. I mean, we saw, hats off to Larry Gadia, about 2.5 years ago, made a post showing that you could create this hack around EC2 on Amazon and Steam in-home streaming and VPN, and it wasn't great because it's not set up for that, but it demonstrated that it might be possible soon. So Chris and I started talking about how with the increasing availability of bandwidth, the ubiquity of H.264 and H.265 decoders, and the just overall investment in the cloud by the cloud companies in GPU machines for not for gaming but for machine learning was going to make a big opportunity for people to build cloud gaming services and technologies. And we really, we believe that maybe it's not exactly the time yet for all of this stuff, but for some people it works, for some people it doesn't. But in the near term, it will be the time for everyone. I mean, with 5G wireless coming out in the United States, which is gigabit per second internet and millisecond ping to the network, and continued investment in GPUs and H.265 and all this stuff that's coming out is really making it viable for all use cases of the cloud infrastructure for cloud gaming. But that being said, we still really were focused very heavily on making sure that people who own gaming PCs today can take advantage of Parsec. So that's why we rolled out Parsec. It's a lot harder to make Parsec work on your home PC and on the cloud, whereas and that's why you can use Parsec basically on any GPU enabled device as a server, as a host. So we really wanted to focus on that, so that if you are a gamer and you want to play when you're not at home or when you're on the couch, or you want to invite friends to play with you, we really started thinking about how do we make the technology work for that use case, and then focus on that as well, because Parsec's really meant to be just like this conduit to get you into gaming and to help you get access to the games that you love to play, whether you're in front of your GPU computer, your gaming machine, or if you don't have a gaming machine and just want to play a couple hours a week, or if you want to invite some friends to play games with you or watch you play games, Parsec's there to serve all of those purposes.
And we just got a message from Aaron W. and he's like, he's the guy who's using it from the UK all the way over 4G. We can't believe it, but he posted that video where it's like, it's working pretty well. And that's really surprising. I think when people find Parsec, they're like, how did I not know about this? So it's, you've probably used other products before, and this is the one. This is like the final form. When you get to it, you're like, wow, this is actually working.
Yeah, I mean, we as gamers have been disappointed for years by products that claim to be able to do this, and what we've really sought to do here is go to the lowest level and build the best and make the best technology decisions. Really, that's all Chris, and it's taken us longer, and you see more errors and things like that. But that's because we've really implemented everything for the sole purpose of making game streaming possible and being the default platform for gaming over the internet, with like high quality gaming over the internet. And just want to thank the community, our Discord, everyone in Discord, and everyone that's been using Parsec so far. It's been really helpful and great to hear your feedback, as well as just you've ridden the wave of some of our bugs and things like that, and we really appreciate your patience, and we hope you continue to give us your patience. But we're our goal is to build the best technology possible for this type of gaming, and that's why we're really excited about what's going on.
Yeah, you guys in Discord are like amazing. I mean, just to support, like when any new user joins in and they've got maybe a couple of issues, you guys are all in there to help, and it's feels like a really big community or a family of sorts, just all focused around this like one amazing product. So you've talked about how you decided to get into Parsec, but where's Parsec at now? Like, can you tell us about what you guys are up to, like what's going on, like where are we, and current state of Parsec?
Yeah, so the Parsec team is now 6 strong, plus James is part-time and flying over to America. So you've met Dan and Jake. In other videos, you've probably seen Eric, who also works on the technology on the back end. Obviously, my co-founder Chris, who does a lot of the low-level technology and networking, and Jamie, who also focuses on the low-level streaming and networking. In terms of the product, I mean, we're going to continue to focus on making this the best performance possible and make the best decisions we can in terms of networking and things like that. You're going to see it hopefully get a lot more polished over the next couple months, and really focusing on getting all of the clients working really well, and making it easier to get yourself into a cloud machine. Also making it much easier for you to invite friends and bring friends in to watch you play or play games with you. So all of that stuff is a big focus. And then in 2018, it's all about just making it really simple for users to come in and start using it. Obviously, most of the people that have been playing and using Parsec of late have been early adopters and technology and evangelists and things like that, and we really appreciate that. But we know we have to get past that to a point where people who may not know how to log into the terminal are able to get into Parsec and use it one click, and then all of a sudden they're using Parsec, and so that's really what we're fully focused on doing and delivering.
Yeah, beautiful. It's going to be really exciting, I think, coming up. I mean, as we talked with Dan and Jake, all the kind of base stuff is built. Now we just got to keep iterating and keep going. It's going to get, I think, faster and faster over the next few months as we add different, change things and make them faster. And we definitely appreciate you guys hanging out and helping us nail any little bugs that may unfortunately pop up.
Well, I think as with any early technology, because we are in early technology, there's going to be bugs and things like that, but we learned quickly. Hopefully you recognize we're getting stuff out and trying to address the issues and taking your feedback and things like that. Please keep sending that to us. I mean, we love it. We love hearing what you've got, your questions and anything like that. And what our goal is to build the best technology out there, and we believe that if we build the best technology, then eventually Parsec becomes the platform of choice for all game streaming. I know, Aaron, I know that you use Parsec on other cloud providers and things like that, and that's really it. We want Parsec to run everywhere and make it the best experience possible for game streaming.
Excellent, cool. I wonder if Chris is around.
Yeah, I'll get him.
Is he around?
I'll get him. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I'll run through what I've been up to.
Yeah.
And when Chris gets in, we'll go over him. So what I've been doing is I actually started off. I found Parsec maybe 3-4 months ago, and I was looking for a solution how to for work how to get remote desktop working really quickly. And after a lot of Googling, I slowly found Parsec, and I joined in the community just like you guys are. And after a little while, I think, if once I contributed a little bit, like all you heroes have been doing, there's definitely an opportunity maybe for you guys to join the team or something of that nature. We're always looking for really, really helpful community managers, and we'd love more of them to join in our team. We'd love to have more heroes. Every time you guys contribute, it's really amazing. So Chris is here, and Chris is our CTO and co-founder, and he's the genius behind the Parsec protocol, basically. So what he does.
Big words to live.
Big words.
So can you tell me about so Benji's gone over what you were doing, how you formed the company, but I just want to understand how did you approach it when you did the challenge of how the camera's just over there on that chair, by the way. How you
Look at you or the camera.
either way, it doesn't matter. How did you approach it when you thought I want to make this? How did you because it's a big beast to tackle.
Yeah. I mean, this wasn't the first. We weren't the very first solution to try cloud gaming and streaming. There were things that existed before we came along. I think as most people who have tried it know, the situation wasn't very good before Parsec or a few years ago. Steam in-home streaming had some stuff, and people were kind of hacking that together to do cloud gaming over the wide area network. There was OnLive, and there were other things that didn't work quite right, or they kind of pigeonholed you into playing only the games that were available on that platform. The technology wasn't really great back then either. The video processing hadn't gotten really good. The internet's only gotten better in the meantime. So it just felt like the right time to create a really high performance, general purpose solution that didn't really exist. So something that's really the goal of Parsec, is to be our tech is really low level. We have implemented a lot from scratch with just this goal in mind. For those of you watching who've gotten errors while using Parsec or whatever you've seen, that's the double-edged sword of Parsec, is that we've spent a lot of time making it really high performance, but sometimes things slip through the cracks. But that's one of the goals for Parsec, is to have control, low-level control over everything. Make it as good as it can possibly be. No wrappers, no crap. If you ever look at what gets installed with Parsec, it's very lean. It's one lean binary, and use it the way you want to use it. So whether it's playing doing what in-home streaming does, but better, or playing from work, or playing from whatever the hell you want to do, right? Playing without hardware, playing in your friend's machine. Our goal is to just be the best performing tech that can do that, and make it nice and easy to use.
I don't know what happened there. A little bit back.
Yeah.
And so, so you started from scratch from a networking standpoint, and you said whatever's going at the moment, not good enough.
Yeah.
We'll go with it. And there's this amazing, I guess you did a little talk in April about Bud. Can you just give us a quick rundown of maybe a high level of what makes it different from how other people are maybe approaching networking and seeing with streaming?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think that we started with our prototype with TCP, and it was pretty clear right away that that was kind of out of the question. I mean, it works well if you have an awesome internet connection that has no loss and very low latency. It works pretty well, but in the real world, on Wi-Fi and all the rest of what can happen, it's really out of the question. The way it handles loss with high bandwidth streams is not good. So then you have some UDP-based protocols out there, the front runner being like SCTP, and we just found that the out-of-the-box solutions and the way that some of that congestion control was working wasn't really quite what we wanted. It didn't really interact with like the way that the video was encoded and some of the adjustments we had to make in real time there, and there was like, we felt like they were making some suboptimal decisions with how they were retransmitting packets and all that. And so we're just like, what the hell? Like, this is a low-level app. Let's make our own protocol designed just for this. That doesn't get in our way. That does really aggressive retransmissions. And if you have a large pipe, it uses that large pipe to retransmit aggressively and keep the latency down. It turns on a dime to make adjustments with flipping the encoder to encode the stream at a lower bit rate. So that's where Bud came from, is just to have like sort of the custom built mechanism to control this style of streaming.
And so, what do you think? What are you working on at the moment, and what's coming out for recent releases inside of Parsec? So I know that Heroes have got access to a new thing like the new service. So can you tell us a little bit maybe what's happening with the service and how and what that's going to change for our users?
Well, I think that one of the bigger problems right now that we're seeing is connectivity related issues. So, getting people connected from firewalls, things like that. We're doing pretty well, but we could be doing better. So I think the next wave of releases, you'll see that get better. Also, we're a little too picky for disconnections right now. So if your network kind of craps out, even for a short amount of time, we disconnect you and throw an error. And that's not ideal. So we're working on making it a little bit smoother. A lot of times there isn't a good reason to completely boot you out of your connection. A lot of times you'll reconnect and it'll be fine. So just making that smoother. And this isn't a performance thing as much as it is like a quality of life thing. I mean, performance-wise, on the horizon, I think we've, new codec support. I mean, everybody wants H.265, and I think it'd be better for a lot of people. There's no guarantee it'll be lower latency though. I think that's what people need to understand, is that sure, it'll be at the same quality, it will be a lower bandwidth stream, but it may take longer to encode and decode. So, keep that in mind. But that being said, we will support it. So people can use it, and it may be a win for a lot of people who have good video processing hardware where maybe it adds a millisecond, but it lowers your bandwidth by 20-30%. I mean, that's a clear win.
Or for the same amount of bandwidth, you get much better quality.
Or same bandwidth, higher quality. However you want to look at it.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. And so Zach from Thought Provoking Tech asks, could we build a version of Parsec that's just boosted Parsec? He's kind of guessing for stuff with thin clients and that kind of thing. Is that on the horizon for us or not so much?
I think our intention there is that we've always supported sort of the console version of Parsec and the command line version, and I think what we would try and do there is provide the proper sort of command line flags to allow you to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So if you wanted some sort of boot on startup into some app automatically or something, hopefully we can provide the tools to do that via the command line. And if they don't exist now, obviously leave your feedback on Discord. I'm not sure what would be necessary. I think you can pretty much launch Parsec headlessly with the right command line arguments right now. So that seems like that gets you there.
And I don't know if you saw during the hackathon, Eric and Jamie, I think we broadcasted that video. Eric and Jamie built an Alexa integration where they said, Alexa, connect to my Parsec computer, and then it, was they had it on a Raspberry Pi connected to their TV. So that kind of stuff we'll support, and we want to see people building cool stuff.
Yeah, we definitely want people to build it. Like, I think one of the great things about our Discord community is that when people like put this thing out there, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's such a cool idea, because it helps us understand our market. And like, if people really love it, we think, well, maybe we can work towards that as well. We can integrate that same functionality, so it can be really cool. And so there's another question about us working with larger companies. Do we work with other companies? Are we happy to, I guess the question is are we going to work more closely with AWS to maybe lower the pricing or something like that? Is that something that we think about? Do we care about pricing?
Yeah, I mean, right now we offer the price that AWS offers us on demand. Maybe in the future we can do smart things around spot pricing or reserved instances and things like that. And we'll always try and pass the price on to you guys. I mean, I think our goal is right now not to make money on some arbitrage of cloud gaming PCs. It's really to offer great. Our goal is
sorry, it keeps jumping.
Doing that and then and offering premium features on Parsec today is sort of how we see the future of the product.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Well, that's wonderful. I'm just looking through any more questions, but I think that is a bit of a wrap on that. I think people are catching on to that they should build their own thin client. We'd love to see your projects. I think that's one of the things Benny does a great job on, is if you got a good project idea, he'll support you. Like, we'll all get involved to help out.
Definitely.
I mean, how well did that the
Raspberry Pi
switch?
Yeah, Drew Wallace's Switchberry Pi thing was awesome. I mean, and happy to help anyone else that is building something. I know Jamie spent a ton of time getting that to work. So
yeah. Okay. Cool. And is there anything you want to share, or do we think we've got a wrap?
No, unless there's other questions.
Okay, cool. We'll just have a look. Any more? Excellent. Okay, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining in. I hope that we answered some of the questions today. And I'm heading back to New Zealand in the next few days, but I'm hoping that we can do this again sometime soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's a great way to keep you guys updated and involved. But until next time, hey, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye.